Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Cross Canada C4FM weekly net. This net meets every Wednesday evening at this time, which is 2100 Eastern, 200 UTC. The net is the result of a roundtable conversation between three hams, one in BC, one in Ontario, and one in New Brunswick, who want to bring Canadians together from coast to coast and those abroad so that we can create new friendships, share ideas, and technical information. This is V3BF. My name is Dennis, and I'm located in Ottawa. I will be your net control station for this evening. This net is conducted in both the digital and analog modes and is linked through various repeaters and nodes on the WiresX network via room 40678, giving licensed amateurs across Canada and around the world a chance to participate. This is a directed net, so all traffic and comments shall be directed through me. Before taking regular check-ins, let me just tell you what I came up with here for a topic tonight. And it's a topic that we've had, but things will have changed as they always do. So let's talk about what's your current ham radio project. What are you working on these days? Tell us a little bit about it. Tell us how you're making out, any stumbling blocks. If you have any technical questions on any gear, this is the perfect place to ask because we will have a lot of talented people here, knowledgeable people that will most likely be able to answer your question or guide you to the right spot for your answer. So before taking regular check-ins, I'll take priority check-ins. Anyone looking that cannot stay for the entire net, mobile stations, portable stations, again, stations that can't stay for the entire net, please call now and give us your check-in. This is Victor Echo 3 Bravo Foxtrot.
V5 Bravo Foxtrot, Victor Echo 5 Hotel Golf, and V5 Delta Jules Quebec. Short time. M0 QXM, Nick from West Central Minnesota. M0 Quebec X-ray Mike. Short time.
All right, good evening to Eric, VE5HG. Good evening, Doris, VE5DJQ. And good evening to Nick, November 0QXM. Any others for in and out, short time, limited time check-ins?
N1 CDN.
All right, looks like our node list is growing here on the web page. So thanks everyone. Good evening, Steve. Got you in there, and let's go to Eric out in Saskatoon. What's new and going on there, Eric? Back over to you.
Not too much. Everything's about the same. Everything good. Yeah, like that. It's unreal. It's pretty good. 3 strokes later, I'm still here, and that's the main thing. So there you go. V5 Falls Off and V5DJQ. 7-3 to all, and greetings to all. V5 Falls Off. Eric and Saskatoon and Doris. V5DJQ.
All right, very good, guys. Thanks for taking the time to check in tonight, and hopefully you can hang around a little bit, have the radio on, and read the mail. Eric, hi. Thanks for checking in. November 0QXM. Good evening, Nick. It's been a while. Welcome back to the net.
Hey, thanks for doing the night, and good evening to everybody that's on frequency. Yeah, I enjoyed listening to this one, hear what's going on to our neighbors to the north. The weather here is moderated finally. I really appreciate that. We were kind of in that 20 below weather stuff for a while, and now we're actually above zero, and some of the snow has melted, so things are looking a little brown around here. Hey, they sound good down here in Minnesota, West Central Minnesota. Appreciate it. You guys have a good evening. This is MZQXM.
All right, very good, Nick. Thanks for checking in and taking the time to come by and say hi. Always a pleasure, sir. You're welcome anytime. Let's go down a little further south, and he's probably going to gloat about the weather or something. N1CDN. Good evening, Steve.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis, and all on that. No, I leave the weather out of it. I don't want to be that guy that's always bragging about how awesome it is. It's actually pretty cool down here right now. It's cold enough I had to wear pants today. But no ham radio projects in the works right now, Dennis, and I've been focusing on flying and learning to fly and flying the drone that I got over the weekend. I got a Phantom, Phantom 3 Standard from DJI. So I've been focusing on that. I learned last night how to record video while I'm flying. So I'll be posting something from there on Facebook here shortly. Well, it won't be tonight, but in the not too distant future. And I realized that one insanely expensive hobby clearly is not enough, so that's why I got a drone as well as my ham radios. Good to hear everyone. Good to be heard. Heading off to bed. 7-3, good night, everyone. This is N1CDN in West Central Florida.
All right, very good, Steve. Well, have fun. Look forward to seeing the videos, and I'm sure you and I subscribe to the same theory that he who has the most at the end wins. Many hands have that theory as well. Thanks for checking in. All right, that brings me to the end of the list for early check-ins. So, as usual, we will start out in the east and work our way west, because obviously of the time zones. So let's open it up to Atlantic Canada. Anyone in Atlantic Canada wishing to check in, please call now. This is V3BF with the Cross Canada C4FM net.
Hey, Dennis, I thought you had more than that on your early check-in list. Double check, make sure everybody got heard.
Well, I got through the 4 people that were on my list. Did I miss anyone on early check-ins? Call now.
Victor Echo 7, Whiskey Bravo Mike.
Victor Echo 7, Whiskey Bravo Mike. Good evening, Stephen. How are you this evening? And did I miss you on the first round of early check-ins, or did you just Brad, did you just give us a shout?
No, I just gave you a shout. I was listening, but I've got to check in early because I'm going to be in and out, so I'll probably have the radio on, but I won't necessarily have a chance to check in when you get all the way to BC. So thank you for taking the call, and just fighting some massive snowflakes. It's exactly 0 degrees here in Vernon, and we have snowflakes the size of, well, silver dollars. The old school silver dollars. They really big. So it's been quite an eventful afternoon on the road, and otherwise it's been a really great day. But great to hear from you, Dennis, and we will talk to you later. Victor Echo 7, Whiskey Bravo Mike.
Right, thanks very much. Thank you, sir. Thanks for taking the time to check in. I'm glad you'll be riding along with us there. I thought I'd gone to everybody. All right. Last time I listened to Steve, hi. All right, let's go to the Atlantic Canada and see who's out there. VE1s, VO1s, VE9s, anyone wishing to check in, or VA1s too. Sorry, don't want to leave anybody out.
Victor Echo 1, Delta Romeo Sierra. The E1LV. 9 CAF.
All right, well, let's start with that list. Good evening, Don, VE1 DRS. Good evening, Hal, VE1 LV, and good evening, Jason, VE9 CAS. Anybody else in the Atlantic provinces? Oh, I'm sure there'll be some more coming in later on in the net here. So good evening, Don, VE1 DRS. Come on aboard, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening to you, Dennis, and good evening to everyone across Canada. It's getting cold here, back where we are here on the East Coast. It's just rolling back and forth all the time, but I think February's the best month, and January's probably the worst month all across Canada in the winter months. But anyway, as far as the project goes, I'm just thinking about it now, but I'm thinking that I'd really like to get a nice 20-meter beam put up this summer, but I know where to get the antenna and the coaxial cable and all that, but I just haven't roped off the idea where I can get a couple monkeys here to run up and down the towers, so I just have to wait a little while on the planning, but we're working on it in our head, I guess, and that's the only thing I've got on the go for this summer coming. So hope everybody's doing well across Canada. Back to you, Dennis. Over.
Well, that sounds like a fun project, Don. Very good. Well, good luck in finding some monkeys. There's always one or two of those around, so I'm sure you'll be able to find a volunteer. And some of them, I understand, work for 807s, so you know that's always a possibility. But you do that after the climbing's done. Hi. Very good, sir. Thanks for checking in. Good evening, Al, VE1LV. And I know you've been busy updating some radios.
Good evening, excuse me, Dennis, and all those across the country. Yes, we now have all our Yaesu radios updated. I'm quite pleased with the 400, the way it's, and I haven't even driven out of the yard yet. I just had it on, and the way things are beacons are displaying. And I'm having, since I got a new computer here a while back, I have not been able to get FT8 to work. The tones come out over the computer speaker, and it does not key the transmitter. So I got a gentleman going to come in and give me a hand with that. He's quite knowledgeable. He went down to Charlie. I believe you have worked him, Dennis, no doubt. And the other thing is, I'd like to know if it is possible to block a beacon on the FTM 400. I know I can skip one while scanning, but I don't know whether I can completely block a station like you can here on C4FM. So it may not be possible, but all I can do is ask. The E3BF, this is the E1LV.
All right, very good, Hal. Well, let's see if someone out there can answer that question. Can anyone answer Hal's question about blocking a beacon on APRS with the FTM 400? Anyone out there with some knowledge? Over.
VA3EXT Dryden.
Hey, good evening, Scott. I'll put you down as a check-in right away, and yeah, give Hal a shout there if you have some knowledge.
Well, the first thing I do, Hal, is Google it, but I know not in the 400, in other radios and other APRS stuff, it's called a bud list, and I think that's in that list is the ones that if you have them in the list, it won't show up on your radio. So I would do a Google on it, and I'm not 100% sure just from playing with APRS in the not in the future, but in the past, the bud list is where you'd put somebody that you don't want to show up on there. So I can research it for you in email, but that's just a guess.
Very good, thanks, Scott. And I've used the bud list on the tiny tracks, I believe. I've had the first tiny track I had was a kit put together, and I've had 2 or 3 since then, but they're all gone by the wayside. I'll check into that, and like you say, Google it. I haven't really looked because I just ran into the problem this evening or later this afternoon when I was reinstalling the 400 back in the car after we did the firmware updates to it. and I can thank the 9 CAS for doing all the updates for me. I'll be the first one to admit I'm computer illiterate. Back to you, Dennis, and thanks, Scott. VE3BF. This is VE1LV.
Well, I'm glad that you could find some help, Scott. Thanks very much for piping in. And did you have anything else for the net that you'd like to, while we have you on board there, that you'd like to share with us? Over. Okay, Scott, I'll call you back in when we get to Ontario and see if you have anything else for the net. Thanks again for your help. VE9CAS, good evening, Jason.
Thanks, Dennis, for calling me in. Yeah, I don't have really any projects per se. I've been repairing some antennas from that last windstorm. I got to the top of the ski hill today to fix some of my stuff, and I'm missing a few pieces of my antenna, and lo and behold, I found them today because there's no snow left at the top of the ski hill. So I picked up all the pieces and see some of the isolators broke off, but installed a few new antennas. Not going to be climbing a tower this time of year. It was a plus 6 degree day. Great day to do some maintenance, and everything is back online. As you can see, I'm back in here tonight. So everybody have a great time this week. -7. The temperature is dropping really fast here in Sussex. So have a great week. VE3BF, VE9CIF.
Well, I'm glad you're finding things. Hopefully you'll find everything you need before we get another snowstorm, Jason. Well, thanks for checking in. Let me see here. I've got a digital check-in in the text box on the Node software from Brad, VE1 Zulu X-Ray, saying that he has no traffic this evening, and he's checking in from Parsboro. Thanks, Brad, for taking the time. And anyone else in Atlantic Canada, please call now. All right, well, let's open it up to the province of Quebec. Anyone in Quebec wishing to check in, along with anyone else in Atlantic Canada, please call now. Quebec and Atlantic Canada. Let's go to Eastern Ontario. Eastern Ontario, Quebec, and Atlantic Canada.
V3 Lima, Charlie, Whiskey, Papa, Wayne, and Peterborough.
You didn't get me. I think we may be doubled on the first transmission. V3 Lima, Charlie.
VA3 MTS.
Victor Echo 3, Lima, Romeo, Mike. It's Len in Peterborough.
Victor Echo 3, Lima Golf Delta.
3, Lima Bravo Uniform. Ron in Stittsville.
All right, let's hold it there. I'm just catching up here on my sloppy penmanship. I've got VA3 FPW Wayne, good evening. VE3 LRM, good evening, Len. VA3 LDG, good evening, Lawrence. VE3 LC, good evening, Norm. And VE3 LVU.
Yeah, you sure did. VE3 PD, Richard.
All right, Richard, got you in there, VE3PD. Thank you, sir. Let's hold it there and go to the top of that list. VA3FPW. Wayne, good evening.
Good evening. It's Victor Alpha 3, Foxtrot Whiskey Papa. That's Foxtrot Whiskey Papa. And we had a beautiful day here in Peterborough, sunshine all day. It's negative 12C here tonight. So it's turning down a little. They promised us negative 17 by 7 a.m. in the morning, and then up to negative 7, a balmy negative 7 for the afternoon, for tomorrow. So the weather's staying steady. We had no weather activity outside tonight. Everything's calm. And just a very good day. A quiet day on 20 meters today. We didn't have any luck, but there are days when we get a little bit of activity. Other than that, we have no important traffic. And back to net control. VA3FWP.
All right, very good, Wayne. You know what? I had it written down right. I just can't read my own writing. I'm getting a little dyslexic in my old age. Hi. Anyway, I apologize for getting that wrong, but I promise you it was correct on my piece of paper. Thanks very much for checking in. I didn't get a chance to listen to the HF bands today. It was just a little bit too busy. VE3LRM, good evening, Len.
Oh, VE3BF in the group. VE3LRM, yes, good evening, everyone. I just made it back from a function I was at just down the road here, so I managed to get in here and get signed on before you got to Eastern Ontario. So, and just want to say hi to VE3LBU, Ron up there in Sticksville, and just FYI, I am now transmitting on my new Yaesu FT991A. And eventually I'll be able to put up an antenna, an HF antenna, and do some more playing with it. So it's quite a machine. A little intimidating, but it is quite a machine. I'll pass it back to you, Dennis, VE3BF, and the group, VE3LRM.
Very good. Well, congratulations on the new acquisition. I'm glad to know that it's on the air. And give Victor Alpha 3, Mike Sierra, Mike Papa Sierra. Yeah, Mike Papa Sierra. Write that call sign down, Len, and Steve just got himself the same machine, so you guys can compare notes and have a learning time. He's in this room quite regularly, so as a matter of fact, he's hooked up the local repeater to the node here for me this evening. So, yeah, you guys should touch base. Anyways, another gentleman here with a new toy. I'm wondering if the UPS man or the FedEx guy showed up today. VA3LGD. Good evening, Lawrence.
Evening, Dennis. It's VE3LGD, and I got the FedEx number. It's supposed to be here on Monday. I just don't know when I'm going to find the time. And for other those on frequency, Dennis is referring to the fact that I am awaiting bated breath the delivery of my refurbished DR1 XFR repeater. And I'm waiting for the coordinated frequencies to show up, and then I got to find out where the cans are hidden in the house, along with the hard line. And Dennis, at some point, Barhaven will have a full-time repeater around the counter room.
Well, there you go. It's official. I didn't want to burst your bubble there, Lawrence. And I don't know why I had you A as opposed to E. I was under the impression it was an A, but I guess I'm confusing your Victor Alpha 5 call. I apologize for that. And very good. So we'll look for you. And yeah, as soon as I get back from holidays there, we'll get together for a coffee for sure. VE3LC, that call I am sure of. Good evening, Norm. VE3BF.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis, and good evening, Canada. V3LC here. Name is Norm, and we're more or less a regular checking in here. Nothing too much to report. We've been, well, busy today. I guess I've seen you in person today, Dennis. I was busy planting a beacon transmitter in the Ottawa area here on 147 585 megahertz, 147 585, and this is for a little club exercise to try to find the beacon transmitter. Anyway, this is planted. Well, I won't say exactly where. It won't mean much to folks outside the Ottawa area, but we're just staging this to give people a little exercise to try to more or less locate it, and not physically, but in the general area. And it's only transmitting 15 milliwatts, so that'll be interesting. It'll be on the air for 1 week, and I can hear it here, but it's not very strong. But it's amazing how 15 milliwatts does get out at a fair distance. Just amazing. Anyway, you might check that out there, Dennis, if you tune in that frequency and see if you can hear it at all. Anyway, as I say, nothing much more to report. No FedEx packages coming our way. But I do have a repeater here, a DR1X that I'm looking at. But it's spared for V3TWO, so we'll just keep it in reserve here. Kind of a waste, I know. Back to you there, Dennis. V3BF in the group, V3LC.
Well, thanks, Norm. We'll after the net, I'll tune that frequency up on the big antenna there, and I'll send you an email letting you know if I hear it or not. It just might get heard on the antenna here. It's high enough and got enough gain. We'll see. And maybe I'll take a couple hours and take a drive in the neighborhoods there tomorrow in my drive around and keep that frequency plugged in on the truck rooftop antenna. Thanks, Norm. Thanks for checking in. Let's go to Stittsville in the far west of Ottawa here, VE3LBU. Good evening, Ron.
Good evening, Dennis, and everybody on net tonight. Across Canada and around the world, as they used to say. Nice to hear everybody. Good, clean signals, too, from everybody. It's very heartening. It's great. The question of the night was, what are you doing for the project you've got? And I think I'm going to say that I'm still struggling with M Radio Deluxe and my laptop. I've got one of those Don Rickles laptops. It always has an answer for you, but it isn't the right one. So I'm still struggling a bit there, and I'm waiting for a TigerLink sound card to arrive. So whether that's Purelator or UPS or FedEx or Canada Post, I'm still waiting on it. When I get that, hopefully I can resolve my problems between the laptop and the ICOM here. So that's what's keeping me busy, and that will continue to keep me busy too. It's a tall learning curve. And for the benefit of VE3LRM in Peterborough, Len, the mic and the radio sounding good. I'm happy to hear that you also got your antenna today, so we expect to hear you on HF some near day. That'd be great. That's it for now. We'll say 7-3 to everybody, and we'll sit on the side and listen for the rest of the night. Good night. Thanks, Dennis, for hosting. VE3LBU, back to net.
Oh, very good, Ron. Thanks very much for taking the time to check in tonight. And I should mention, Norm mentioned that he saw me in person today, and we met up at the RAC office. And, well, I've been asked to take over a position at the RAC office, and I kind of officially, or almost officially, accepted the position. I am accepting the position. I'm just waiting for the right thing, but I'm willing to announce it. So I've taken over as the QSL manager. So if you're sending QSL cards to the RAC office, chances are they'll be going through over my desk. So it's not a high-paying job. It pays recognition only, high. But it should be fun to do, and I enjoy it. And I'll tell you, it's been rewarding so far, looking at some of the QSL cards coming in from around the world. I've had about 500 go over my desk here in the last week and a bit, and some of them are absolutely gorgeous. Let's go back to Orleans, VE3PD. Good evening, Richard.
Yeah, V3BF, V3PD. Yeah, I just lost my node there. We had a power outage and everything's resetting, so I had to move to TWO. Anyway, we did make it back. No projects in the works. The only thing new, I bought a brand new in-dash camera for the car, but I had to go out and buy the GPS for it separately. But I'll tell you, it was worth the extra money because this thing refreshes itself every 5 seconds. Now, some of these mobile radios should take a lesson from this company and rework their GPS units. But that's about it for now. Minus 25 with the wind chill tonight as a frost warning I just got from the city of Ottawa. So it'll be a nice, cozy night tonight. That's about it for now. Dennis, we'll send it back to Net Control, V3PD.
All right, Richard, thanks very much. And yeah, it sounds like an interesting little toy to play with there. The in-dash camera and the GPS. That sounds pretty cool. Thanks for checking in. That brings me to the bottom of my list. So let's open it up to the rest of Ontario. Of course, anyone in Quebec or the Atlantic provinces are welcome to check in as well.
Victor Echo 3, Juliet Alpha.
Victor Echo 3, Bravo Victor Charlie.
Victor Alpha 3, Mike Papa Sierra.
All right, that was pretty orderly. Good evening, Woody, VE3JJA. Good evening to James, VA3JPX. Good evening, Bill, VE3BVC. And good evening, Steve, VA3MPS. Did I miss anyone on that round?
VE3NA.
Yep, Papa Go.
All right, we've got VA3JPG. Good evening, JP. And we've got Barry, VE3, November Alpha. All right, let's go to the top of that section and bring in Woody. And I guess Woody's going to tell us what our weather is going to be tomorrow. Hi. Good evening, Woody. How are things out in northwestern Ontario?
It is absolutely superlative, and you're going to have weather. Everyone's going to have weather tomorrow. So I know you're all looking forward to that. And I some information for VE1LV in regards to the FT8 because I've been playing around with that, as well as my son Corey, VE4COR, who's monitoring right now at work with a cell phone, listening in on the net with a cell phone. And if LV is still reading, probably the issue is his sound card, if he's using a signal link. But go to File, down to Configuration, down to Settings, and then under Audio, go to the input. So if it's signal link, Tigertronic signal link, it should be microphone, USB audio codec, and under Output speakers, USB audio codec. So that's it. And we have two new repeaters into our network up in northwestern Ontario, but they're in Winnipeg at the moment. The E4ART is online, and the E4INT is online in the north end of the city, and they're usually there 24/7. So it stretches from Marathon, and we're hoping to put something on in Thunder Bay all the way into the city of Winnipeg. Thanks, Dennis.
Well, thanks, Woody. Don't go away here. Hal, are you still there? V1LV. Did you have any questions for Woody on your settings? Over.
No, not at all. New computer worked on great on the old one, but yeah, that sounds good. Thank you very kindly. This is V1LV.
All right, sir. Thanks very much. And before I go to James here, let's go back to Scott. Scott just sent me an email with I'm not sure if that's a new Wires X map, but Scott, we didn't get a chance to, other than your answer to Hal, we didn't get a chance to see if you had anything else that you'd like to talk about on the net. VA3EXT, if you're still there.
V3BF, VA3XT. Evening again, Dennis. So I was distracted. We got the Vikings show on, and I was kind of distracted when you came back to me, and I missed it. Anyway, I looked up. It's called No Bud, Hal, and there's nothing in the 400 I could find that you block any packets coming because it's not much robust TNC in there. We got -10 here, Dennis. That map is probably not a new one, but I was looking at the map. There's a V7 node located just east of Sudbury. So I think the coordinates are out. It's VA7 Echo Mike, Victor Alpha Echo Mike -ND as a node. And its location is probably about 20K west of Sudbury. I was just looking on the map there, so I'd say in settings of location, it's probably a little bit out of whack there, but pretty neat. You can zoom in and check it out, and we got it pretty clustered in northwestern Ontario and into Winnipeg there now. And hopefully, like what he said, we'll get Thunder Bay. And other than that, not much here. Work and play with radios a bit and all that stuff. So.
All right, very good, Scott. Well, good to know that the Vikings are being noticed. Hi. I think this is the same map. I'm going to double check it. For some reason, I cannot get it to load up on my computer here, and I don't want to push it. But I think it's the same map, and if it is, take a peek at PEI. There's a few nodes in PEI that don't belong there. People have set their GPS settings wrong. But thank you very much for that info. And as soon as I can load this up, and then we'll repost that on the Facebook page. Thanks for being there. Thanks for helping us out with some technical stuff, Scott. I know you're someone that we can always count on. Let's go to Canada in the west side of Ottawa, VA3JPX. Good evening, James. All right, James, thanks very much. And also another check-in here we'll recognize while we have it. November Uniform 3 Sierra in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, saying that he has no traffic and he's enjoying the net. So, for those of you who are wondering where I'm grabbing this information, it is in the text box on the Node software. And sorry I didn't get a name on NU3S, but thanks for listening in. Glad to have you aboard, sir. Let me see here. Brings me, well, we're going back way up north. Good evening, Bill, VE3BVC.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis, and all on net. Sounds pretty good net tonight, actually, and doing quite well here. I'm back at the camp still. The temperature is not too bad, and I've had a little bit of light snow this morning. Or today, I should say. No projects. I'm still just in the repair mode. But I was kind of curious. The last James, I think, had said he just used a straight USB cable to his 991 from his laptop to run the HRD. I didn't quite catch that, and because I was just thinking about doing the same here. Maybe he could come back with that for me. Other than that. Nothing on for the net there, Dennis.
All right, very good. Very good there, Bill. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, James, about the USB cable there. I know there's a couple of others with the same radio, so if you could clarify that, that'd be terrific. VA3 JPX. Go ahead. Yeah, very good. I'll pop up a link there on the Facebook page, Bill. While you can grab that software off if you're running a PC, which I know you are. You can grab that driver off the Yaesu website. But for those of you who are running a Mac, now you can't run it with ham radio deluxe, but you will need the SL Labs USB driver, and I can pop a link to the SL Lab for the Mac users. And I know there's a Mac user out there who will be installing another piece of software, and he'll need that link as well. Let's go to JP out in the West Ottawa, VA3 JPG. Good evening.
Yeah, very good evening, Dennis, and everybody on board. I guess we have lots and lots of ears listening this evening, and very interesting that Victor Alpha 3 Juliet Papa Golf, like Dennis said, in the west end of Ottawa. Well, things on the go. We have many, many things on the go, lots of hobbies. Radio-wise, not too much. A little bit too cold to be outside, and working on antennas right now, especially with the swing of weather we've been having, the extreme colds and the rain, and you name it. So we'll keep these outside projects for later on. So as far as we go right now, we're just cleaning up the basement here, the shack, and everything else, and trying to make it a little more bearable. Anyway, back to you, Dennis. Not much to report. Nice seeing you at breakfast with Jack, and hopefully we'll do it many more times. V3BF, Victor Alpha 3, Juliet Papa Golf. Good evening.
All right, JP, thanks for checking in this evening. And next on my list is out in Greeley, south side of Ottawa, VE3 November Alpha. Good evening, Barry.
Well, good evening, Dennis. Very good evening to all on board tonight. Quite a crowd. Both are checked in, listening in, and about to check in. Good to hear good representation on the Wednesday night net. Well, we finally finished writing up the instructions for the dipole project that some of the members of the club are going to be working on. And that will soon be posted on the club website for them to pick up. So that is done. Or, well, it will be done as soon as it's posted. And as for what's next, the XYL confirmed with me on no less than 3 occasions that I've finally finished the write-up, and I agreed. She said, well, you'll be able to get on to cleaning up the shack then, won't you? Anyhow, that's all for now, Dennis. We're going to be listening to the bitter end. Of course, as we always do, we'll turn it back to you, VE3BF and the group. This is VE3NA, Barry, out in Greeley.
Well, Barry, she has spoken, and you must obey. That's all I'm going to say on that. Thanks for checking in, and if your instructions are anywhere even half of what the last set were, I'm sure they're going to be absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see them. Thanks very much for checking in. That brings me to the bottom of my list, so let's open it up to Manitoba. Of course, anyone east of Manitoba who didn't get a chance to check in is welcome to do so, but let's open it up to Manitoba.
VA3 MPS.
Oh yeah, you're going to tell me I skipped over you, and I probably did. Hi. Sorry about that, Steve. VA3 MPS, come on aboard.
VE3BF, this is VA3 MPS, recently referred to as the other Mac user, I do believe. And yeah, no problem. I think he skipped over me on 2 times, but it's all good. I had the pleasure of having coffee with you today, and so that's a lot of credit there. Good evening to you and everyone on the net. Quite nice to see all these nodes and repeaters in the room. I see we're up to 30 there now. Very short on projects. Well, I have this lovely FP991A that arrived a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks now, and we'll be looking to get onto the HF side of that when I can get out there and put up an antenna. So that's the project that's on the books right now. I'll leave it at that for now. There's a lot of people there, so I'll turn it back to you, Dennis, and I'll say 73. I'll listen to the end like our friend Barry, who's so dedicated. This is VA3 MPS, Steve in Orleans.
Thanks, Steve, and my apologies for overlooking that on my list here, and you know I didn't mean it. All right, let me see here. I called Manitoba, didn't hear anything, but we'll leave it open and also bring in Saskatchewan. If there's anyone else in Saskatchewan that wishes to check in, or east, please call now.
VE3 UIM also trying to check in.
Yes, Dennis, VE3KAE, Alan here.
All right, well, thanks for the relay, guys. James, appreciate that. And I guess I'm a little bit too quick on the mic or something. Good evening, VE3KAE. And I understand there's a new radio out in Kempville. And good evening, Mike, VE3UIM. Anyone else that I missed? All right, well, let's go to Kempville, VE3KAE. Good evening, Alan. Come on aboard.
Oh, good evening, Dennis, and everyone on Net Cross Country. New radio. I just got it Monday in the morning to use it. So I hope I've checked in okay. And I'm just going to monitor the net, if that's okay. And nothing to add from me. No projects. Come spring, I need to do some antenna work, obviously. Thanks for hearing me there, Ron. I think that was you in there. And VE3BF, VE3KAE in Kempville. This is Alan, turning it back to the net.
Well, very good, Alan. Welcome aboard, sir. You're always welcome on the net. Please come in and check in, and it's a good spot to come and ask questions. There's a lot of talent here in Ottawa, but there's also a lot more talent across Canada. So this is a great spot to come in, ask questions. Don't be shy. We've got a great pool here. We try to have a different topic for every net. So with that, like I said, feel free to check in anytime, sir. And C4FM is kind of a neat experience, being able to talk across Canada without having to worry about static and noise and crashes and stuff like that. It's kind of cool stuff. And with that, let's go to Smith Falls. Sorry we missed you there, Mike. Good evening, VE3UIM.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis, and the group, VE3UIM, Mike in Smith Falls. Yeah, I think you're just running such a terrific net there, Dennis, that with 30 nodes, it just makes it starts to make it a little difficult to jump in there. Very good job. Well, what are we working on here in the marijuana capital of the world? Some of the members at our radio club here in town have bought the BitX 20 kits from India that was recently featured in the TCA Rack magazine. Very simple kit. It's got the pre-wired board, pre-configured board, plus a couple of pots and connectors and so on. So it's not much of a kit to put together. So I got mine a while back, but I've been too busy to put it together. Several of our other members have already built it and got it working, and there are some notes on the V3RLR website. Along with that, I'm also trying to get my high-speed internet. I finally came out of the dark ages of Bell DSL lines where they would not give me any more than 5 megabits. Finally moved over to cable with Cogeco, and I now have a lightning speed of 60 megabit download. So I'm trying to get that all reconfigured and get the WiresX node moved over to that. So that's keeping me busy. Good net there, Dennis. Back over to you. V3BF in the group, V3UIM.
that, Mike. Yeah, I look forward to, seeing if there's going to be a difference. You guys have done wonders with your slower internet line. I mean, very rarely any dropouts. You had some hiccups at the beginning, but you've worked all of those out. So it'll be interesting to see what the difference is. And I'll go check out that website for sure for VE3RLR and go check out that kit. That is that has caught my eye. I haven't ordered one yet, but I've been thinking about it. All right, that brings me to the bottom of my list again. So let's open it up some more. Let's go to Alberta. Anyone in Alberta wishing to check in or east of Alberta, please call now.
E5RS, Victor Echo 5, Romeo Sierra, Ron, Saskatoon.
Well, there's a voice I haven't heard in a long time. Good evening, Ron. Welcome back to the net, sir. VE5RS. I hope all is well. Back to you.
Yeah, good evening. Took me a crazy. Wait, yeah, everything's going okay. And sometimes I have meetings once a month on Wednesday night. And so sometimes I just won't be able to get on the net. And anyway, other than that, I'll get on whenever it's up and available. Weather's not too so busy with playing with FT8, and it's been a lot of fun. Anyway, good to hear Lawrence in there too. Pleased to be from here. And anyway, and everybody else for listening. Thanks for being here. It's Ron, Saskatoon, V5RS.
Well, thanks very much, Ron, for taking the time tonight. It's good to hear you back on. And FT8 is something that I have not tried yet. I know Norm is pushing me to get up onto that, and apparently it's an awful lot of fun. So one of these days, I just may pop in there. Thank you very much. And I've got another electronic check-in here from Ron out in VE1 Zulu Charlie out in Dartmouth, checking in, and says he has no traffic, but he's been listening into the net. So let me see here. Got Saskatoon. We've called in Alberta. But we'll leave them another chance, and of course anyone else. But let's go to BC, British Columbia and East. Please call now.
V7. Oh, sorry about that. V7 Alpha Mike.
Victor Alpha 7 Alpha Echo Juliet.
Victor Alpha 7 at Gulf Hotel.
Okay, I got VE7 Alpha Mike. Mike, good evening. VA7A Alpha Echo Juliet. I'm going to have to go to my cheat sheet here on that one because I don't remember. That's Aaron. Good evening, sir. It's been a while since we've heard you on. Welcome back. And VA7 GH Grant. Good evening. Anyone else? All right, well, let's bring in Mike. Good evening, Mike. VE7 Alpha Mike. How are you this evening?
It's been a long day, eh, Dennis? Well, good evening, Dennis. I'm now on board. Nothing special going on here. And that's about it. I don't have any projects going except my other hobbies involved that take up some time, so it is what it is, and it's keeping the gray matter busy. That's the most important thing. So that's it, Dennis, and good evening to you and one and all listening. The E3BF, this is the E7AM Vernon.
All right, Mike, thanks very much. I've got a request here, and I don't know who sent it. So, Dennis, can you post the info on the kit on the website? And I will. So let's talk about the website real quickly and say that we are on Facebook. We have a Facebook page there called the Canada C4FM Weekly Net. You can type in the search bar Canada or C4FM or Weekly Canada C4FM is enough to get you to find the page. Give us your call sign, and we'll bring you in as a member. We're a private group, so that our stuff is not shared everywhere. It's within the group itself. And we post interesting links, some information about upcoming nets, all kinds of trivial stuff, all ham radio related, so and mostly C4FM related. So check us out if you haven't already. Come on in, join the community there. It's a fun place to be, and it's a great way to share some files. Let's go back to BC VA7 AEJ. Good evening, Aaron, and how are you tonight, sir?
V3BF VA7AEJ. Yeah, good evening. I'm okay. Homesick again, but getting better. Hopefully, I won't have to take too many more sick days. I kind of joined the net late this evening, so I'm thankful that there's a really good turnout, and I was able to get in near the end here. And I'm also thankful that I'm far in the west. You're talking about winter projects, I assume. I heard a couple people referencing that. I myself am taking an online CW course with CW Ops Academy out of the U.S. And I'm enjoying it. I think I'm falling behind. I might be the worst in the group, but I'm going to stick with it. And hopefully by the end of February, I'll have some CW skills that I can continue to improve on. Anyways, that's it for me this evening, and hello to everybody on the net. V3BF, this is VA7AEJ, back to the net.
Oh, very good, Aaron. You know, I have here on my page of topics tonight, do you CW? And I thought, no, not tonight. I've already done that topic. But I know that there is lately, here, at least here in Ottawa, and I think Norm is a little bit to blame for that, but not entirely, because I've heard it from many other places. But there seems to be a heightened interest in CW these days, at least that I'm hearing about. So we'll do that for a topic for an upcoming net. I will bring that back. Aaron, if I can give you one tip of advice, because I had all but forgotten CW, and I've been redoing it over the last year with a lot of help from, I'm not sure if Jack's listening, VA3YJC, and a few others who have helped me along. And if I can give you one tip of advice, if you can study an hour a day, it comes really quick, but don't do it an hour at a time. Do 6 blocks of 10 minutes at a time. You know, sit down, have a cup of coffee, use an app and on your iPhone or iPad or Android device, and listen to CW for 10 minutes at a time. And I'll tell you, it really does come quickly. And if you can find someone that you can spend 15 minutes with a week, just to send a couple of letters back and forth, it really does help. So good luck with it, stick with it, and it will come. It's not that difficult. It's just doesn't come as quickly. It's like learning a new language. So all the best to you, Aaron, and don't be shy to reach out if you need some help. VA7GH, good evening, Grant, and welcome back to the net, sir.
V3 Bravo Fox and the group, VA7 Golf Hotel, Grant in rainy Nanaimo. Good evening, Dennis, and everyone else in here. I wonder if there's a resurgence of CW whenever the other conditions or the conditions don't lend themselves too favorably to voice and things. It seems to be that's what's happened over the years in my experience anyways. You're talking about projects. I'm involved in a project here that's sure everybody on this group could probably relate to, and that's building through the various stages of getting a local node put up. And first started with the analog, and then finally got a digital radio. And now I'm attempting to put some thermostat control on the fan that I have to cool it. So that's been a project for most of the winter here, and probably will continue on for a little while. Anyway, everybody sounded great tonight, and good to see all the check-ins, and we'll let you get back and see who else is out there, Dennis. V3BF in the group, VA7 Golf Hotel, Grant in Nanaimo.
Well, very good, Grant. Well, you might want to talk to Jason, VE9CAS. He's got some experience on that, so pretty cool stuff. And good luck with the project. I can't offer very much insight, but yeah, you can give Jason a shout on that. He might be able to help you out if you need some help. Let me see here. I have a check-in here electronically saying that he's going to be listening in on the net, and we'll try to check in. So we'll see if VE7LE is out there and if he gets a chance to check in. If not, we've got you checked in electronically, Ted. Thank you very much. And is there anyone else in Canada that wishes to check in? This is VE3BF.
VE1 Kilo Echo Victor.
VE1 KEV. Good evening, Kevin. Got you in there. Let me just make one other call. Anyone wishing to check in from the U.S., please feel free to call now. Well, let's bring in Kevin. Good evening, sir. And how are things out on the East Coast tonight?
Yeah, good evening, Dennis. VE3 Bravo Fox from VE1 Kilo Echo Victor, Kevin in Amherst. Good evening to one and all on the net there. Don't really have a whole lot to report. Sorry I'm so late there tonight. I got talking on the analog there, and I was listening along probably for the last hour or so. So I don't have really a whole lot for projects going on here. We have the Raspberry Pi and stuff already going there, so that's something we're still doing. Anyway, that's all from here, Dennis. Thank you very much for checking me in this evening. Have a great week there, or weekend, I guess, coming up. And 7-3, the 3 Bravo Fox from the 1 Kilo Echo Victor.
All right, Kevin, thanks very much for riding along with us and checking in. Always a pleasure, sir. So let's make this the last call then for this week's C4FM net. This is Victor Echo 3 Bravo Foxtrot. Last call for check-ins. Please call now.
VE1HUL.
VE1HUL. Good evening, Dave. And you've just broken a record, and I'll tell you all about it after. Come on aboard.
VE3BF from VE3 or VE1HUL. Good evening, Dennis. Good evening to all those on the net, and Kevin there just before me. Forgot all about you guys, and just come down to the to my radio room here, and happened to turn the machine on, and I heard you guys doing your thing. So. And seeing as you said you were at the tail end of the net, and that I figured I better get my 2 cents worth in there while I had a chance. Anyways, it was a rather nice day in Truro today. After all that rain and stuff we had yesterday, no snow, other than what little bits piled up where the snowplow had put it, and we were. At one point today, we were up to 8 degrees, so not a bad day at all. And sunny as well. Anyways, we'll turn it back to you, Dennis, and you can tell me the record I broke. I'm not quite sure what that would be, but anyways, we'll turn it back to you. VE1HUL, we'll go back to standby.
Well, Dave, I'm glad I piqued your curiosity on that. Well, folks, it's a record. 33 check-ins, not including myself, is a record for the net. We've had 32 on a couple of occasions, but we've never hit 33. So thanks, everyone, for your participation, and it makes it really fun. We had 31 nodes at one point, just for a few seconds, but we've been riding along at 30 nodes for most of the net. So at least one person from each node is checked in, and that's pretty cool stuff. Anyway, have a great week all. I will be away for the next 2 weeks, and Jack, VA3YJC, will be your host, and Jack's got a lot of experience running some nets. I've lent him a radio, and I hope that you'll enjoy his style of running a net. I know I have in the past. And we'll look for you in 2 weeks when I get back from the sunny south, and maybe I'll have some tall tales of talking on 2 meters, or maybe even C4FM if I can find a repeater. Thanks all for your participation. This is V3BF closing down tonight's net and returning the repeaters and nodes and frequencies back to regular amateur use. 73 all.